don't fix it, I don't see why Top wouldn't just lock the Syndra again.
I was going to say, well, what Lyric talked about it in the draft of game 1 was, you know Doombeat's not going to pick up the Syndra, so go towards something that's a higher priority for you. And with Varus, Aphelios, the Ashgon, Ezreal does make a lot of sense, and it looks like that's what they're going to go for.
I just love how Jackie Love values this pick above literally everything else. I'm sure even if Aphelios was open, actually, he probably would still pick the Ezreal. He just feels so much comfort on this champion. Doesn't matter if he needs to give up laning phase, but that actually might even be a strength for them because it gives Karsa a very clear area to play around and just gives him a very smooth direction forward.
On the other side of the board, it's a similar story with LWX and Kai'Sa as well, right? The guy loves the pick. He's played it a bunch this split, but he's played it a ton over the course of his career. This will be another lock-in for him. And, I mean, the Nautilus is available. It's what we often see alongside the Kai'Sa, but Crisp actually looked pretty good on the Leona. I don't think Crisp was by any means the issue for FPX last game.
It's surprising to me that they would want to blind it here, though, because obviously it's not great into, like, just a first pick Ezreal since he has so much mobility. And even opening yourself up to potential support options, things like Bard that could just leave lane and so on and so forth.
I do agree. I think what this says, though, is that FPX are super high priority on we want Tien in the counter pick jungle. Because usually you would go towards a jungle pick here to pair with your AD carry, but having Tien on this comfort where he can go, look, I'm going to take over against Karsa seems like much high priority for FPX right now.
The one slight issue with that plan, though, the fly in the ointment, is Top could just lock it as support here and just not go for a jungler, leave jungler until second rotation. It does allow for bans, though.
Yeah, I was going to say they could even just take the Braum once again. Obviously, Braum does give a neutral lane up against the Leona, and then you just feel fine in that 2v2. You play for later game skirmishes and team fights. That's exactly what they do.
Top Esports just saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's just do
They're
the
even louder.
exact same thing as game number 1. It worked, so why not, right?
I mean, it makes sense here. And I mean, Lyric touched on in game number 1, the Braum does so well in that bottom lane. Now you've got some great disengage for what is going to be another dive comp. When you see something like a Kai'Sa and you see the Leona, you already know that they're going to want to go aggressive again in your face. So having this Braum to disrupt all that goodness is going to go great for Top Esports.
The thing I'm just confused about is where how are FPX going to change up their comp to actually function into what TES have picked, especially with doing Beast Champion Pool, because things that can come to mind are Rumble doesn't do great into the Syndra and obviously isn't great up against the kind of long-range siege that TES are setting up. You do have things like the Sylas, which also struggles.
I mean, I was about to say the Galio, but literally as it crossed my mind, it's immediately banned away by Top Esports. So you can see Top are just going to play around exactly what you're talking about here.
Do they go back towards, because you could, as Top Esports, ban away the Karma here, maybe they go back towards face a very similar style. The Lulu is also something that he's played quite a bit, and it could just be all in on the likes of this Kai'Sa and trying to set LWX up in these fights.
You actually could just go towards the Orianna, actually, right? It is
True.
Pretty much a 50-50 matchup into the Syndra. Syndra will have pressure and priority early in the lane, but it will also set up for Duinby to be a big carry in those later game teamfights. You have 2 ball delivery systems on your team as well. 3 if we actually count LWX, but that one doesn't seem that such a great option.
I don't know. He pretty much went 1v4 at one point in the last game, so I could believe that they could use that. But the Karma is open. Doinby went for it in the last game. They're actually going to go for the Rumble instead. I thought the laughter was just like hovering the Rumble, but no.
The thing is, even though it might be weird, like holistically in their comp, we've already set up that they're going to have early pressure and push like they did last game. You're going to have early push from the Rumble, so you could potentially just set up early dives like they tried to do against RNG.
We've seen it time and time again from FPX. And if there's one thing that's always true in the LPL is comfort is king when it comes to the draft actor.
Yeah, and I think that's what FPX are going for. As we said, look, go back to the style that has worked for them before. The Renekton in the top lane, though, for 3-6-9. Basically, you know, look, this Renekton's going to be enabled somehow because everyone in FPX is going to want to jump in and get close and melee. So having this Renekton is just going to be able to do so much work against FPX.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what Khan goes here. But
oh, oh
God.
This is something Khan's also played before. He's played it one game this split and obviously fits that historic play style of how people know Khan, of really just wanting to dominate the top lane. So FPX opening up another potential win condition for their comp, but it kind of is contradicting how the other 4 want to play.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that, look, you've already got, like, a short-range AD carry, you've got people that want to go in, get aggressive and dive, but that's not how this Quinn wants to play. She wants to be off in the side lane, she wants to be one-on-one against Renekton. So now you're kind of leaving yourself a little bit exposed where you don't really have a big enough engage tool. Well, Leona kind of fits it, but not enough of an engage for FPX to go full dive here, and you end up in this weird area.
It feels a little similar to game number 1, right? Where we had this Camille that wants to be in the side lane, but realistically had to be over with the rest of the team.
It is different because Camille can at least be another function in that diving composition, get on the AD carry, to where Quinn, I mean, you're going to fly in as a bird, and I don't really know what you do past that. You just spam laugh or something, but yeah, he's pretty much going to be pure side lane or pure pick.
We'll have to see how Khan is going to be able to pull this one out of his hat. We know how strong of a player Khan is on these side lane picks. It's just how well FPX as a whole are going to be able to play around the Quinn in the top lane. Khan's got his counter pick in this top lane matchup, but it was 369 that won out that head-to-head last time around. As we head towards game number 2 here, keep your eyes on that mid lane once more. It's Knight versus Doinby, both on signature picks in the Syndra versus the Rumble.
I am firmly having my eyes set on this mid-jungle 2v2 once again, because when I look at how squishy FunPlus's composition is right now, and you've got this Rumble who's going to want to be trying to push the wave, he has to get up close and personal to do so, it sets up so well for Knight and Karsa to play repeatedly through this mid lane, and if Doinby can't get out and roam on this Rumble and starts to get these side lanes in a better shape, there is the opportunity that Knight just becomes so large that he takes over this game.
Yeah, I definitely think the mid-jungle 2v2 favors TS early on. Very easy for Karsa to even just look for a level 2 gank, throw the pillar up, maybe set up a scatter of the week, and then Rumble now has to blow flash. He no longer can push anymore, and you're pretty much waiting till you're an ult bot and playing for the 4v4 skirmishes.
Top Esports maybe will make a level 1 play here as Karsa steps forward alongside you, Yanja. Bear in mind, Braum exceptionally strong at level 1. Crisp going to be slowed. Concussive blows force the flash out of Crisp. Very nice late invade coming out from Top Esports.
And it means that now Top Esports are more than likely going to split this map. So going to be having Karsa play down towards his bottom side, which really sucks for 369 in this pretty terrible matchup, but maybe a play coming through here.
Karsa is just going to walk straight at Tian. Crisp is going to be here, but Tian might have to flash as well. Oh, Karsa's going to follow for this one. The smites come on through, but Karsa can't quite close the gap. Doinby's here to protect his jungler, but Crisp, he doesn't have a flash this time around. He's going to be in so much trouble. Karsa doesn't have any damage, though. Crisp, yes. What is going on this game already?
The thing here, though, is, look, you've already forced Tian out. You've forced Crisp to recall once again. He's going to be super late to lane. So here, you're going to make a play bot side.
Hang on, LWX is going to be forced to flash as well. That is 3 flashes burnt already for FPX.
Yeah, this is so massive. We were already setting up. Oh my god. We were already setting up how you look at their comp and the way realistically he wants to play is probably getting the early prio and bot, setting up for Doinby to make these repeated roams. Then especially that level 6 point when you have that equalizer trying to get off a full-blown dive or even just a fight for Dragon.
So Jordan, as a coach, how would you feel? Is this the point where you go reset the scrims? It's like, this one's already over. Because it feels like you've set yourself so far behind. Flash is burnt on LWX and Crisp. The bottom lane plays that we were talking about, you can't really go for. Tien as well has been set super far behind. He no longer controls the pace of this jungle.
This is the part of the scrim where you pause and you ask the enemy team, hey, do you want to play this out? Because if they want to play it out, you go for it. But if not, you're just thinking, oh god. There's no hope, boys. There's no hope.
It doesn't feel good. Like, just for context as well, like Top Esports, it's not a big gold lead or anything like that. It's now a lot of pressure on them as well to use these windows that they found with the flashes. 369 will not find many windows at all this game, though, because let's bear in mind, this Renekton versus Quinn really sucks for Renekton.
It does, but the thing I feel like going back to your original point is I actually don't think TS have any pressure to look for any windows because their comp is going to do better the later the game goes, and sure, maybe once we get ultra late, the Kai'Sa is going to do extremely well, but they're going to have this strong mid-game window where they can just bully out FPX.
I'd also like to see, I know this is super weird, but Karsa hand over this blue buff tonight. He's already got one himself, he doesn't need the mana. And having Knight with a blue buff here could just force Doomby to stay in this lane all the time because you're just consistently able to shove in and actually deal with Doomby's pressure.
Yeah, and Doomby actually doing a really good job in this lane. It's, I'd say, pretty close to a skill matchup. It's obviously very dependent on if Syndra can hit her Qs on you. Rumble has a very easy time dealing with it with his shield and can just pretty much walk forward, ignore her, and clear the wave. Jeez, he's doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, I mean, Knight is out of mana as well, so he can't actually trade back and needs to try and save the mana for the Qs on the minions.
You could see he's just trying to force a good reset, so he is finally going to find that. But Doomby probably going to be able to cancel with his E as well. And he did.
Yep, did just that. And now, I mean, look, you've still got the teleport here for Knight, but it's actually going to be forced to stay now with this wave pushing under. And these are the moments that Doomby's been looking for where, okay, I know Knight has to hover mid. I've got another 8 seconds on the recall, and I've got more time if he wants to use the, or, well, doesn't use the teleport. So I want to see if this is the moment where maybe Doomby can make something work.
I also love the fact that Doomby takes heal in this matchup. Not a lot of mid laners do on Rumble, like regardless of matchup. It really nullifies any of the kill pressure that Knight has, but with 369 here, there might be some kill pressure.
Flash is available for Doomby as his heal, but with Scatter Week going wide, is going to be the end of that play already. And, you know, 369 has to settle for his top lane matchup once again. But worth mentioning, he's not even down in CS yet.
Yeah, and it's been quite easy for him to stay up in the matchup where, you know, Tien hasn't really been able to find any windows to hover. We saw Karsa naturally hover towards topside anyway since, you know, invaded enemy blue, went towards his red, went up. So very hard for Khan to go for the Shy-esque play of just sitting under 369's turret.
And this gives the opportunity now for Karsa, after winning very heavily in this early jungle game, to start up this dragon. Now, Tian and Crisp are trying to potentially spot this out.
Hang on, we've got Yanja here to try and block Tian's way into the pit. Jumps on
Ooh.
forward and Tian gets the Drake. Now Jackie Love wants to answer for the players. Karsa is low, but there's a heal available on Jackie Love. They don't even need it. Kill goes the way of Knight.
Yeah. I don't know why Chris committed to that. That was so strange. Like, everyone from FPX had already got out. You knew Knight had that teleport and was joining, but Chris committed to that play.
Yeah, really strange to see from him. And now for the side of FPX, you know, going to be hard for them to really ever set up that tempo play bot that we've talked about. And TS are just punishing them across the map for it.
Yeah, Tian is going to have the concussive blow stacking on up. His flash is about to come off cooldown, but not soon enough here. He's going to, no, just barely survives. Doomby answers it here. 1-for-1 right now as Yanja has to use his own flash, jumps over tonight, but Doomby following for this one. Can he do the damage is the question. One more auto, stuns him underneath the tower. Somehow Yanja gets away with this one.
I don't know how he managed that. Level 3 to level 6 is the Braum. And Doomby does manage to turn around the kill, though, and just about not able to get the final blow.
I still think overall that equalizer was absolutely beautiful coming out from Doomby. Yeah. And it even goes to our conversation before the draft where we wanted Doomby on a champion that can deal damage in the early phases of the game, but still have a presence in mid to late game team fights. And just going back to the Rumble is something that makes sense. And even doing quite well in this lane matchup, which, you know, isn't like hard Rumble favored.
Got a bit of a trade going back and forth up in the top side. 369 has been doing a decent job in this matchup, though. When we've looked at Quinn matchups in the past against Renekton, like, this is meant to be a dominant, hard counter. 369 right now has stayed even in CS throughout this lane
I
phase.
think it's absolutely amazing. We even look, he's not even sitting on something like a Bramble Vest or Ninja Tabbies like we've seen before. Just cloth armor, and is sitting even in CS. That's a massive win for Renekton in this matchup.
At the start of the day, we were saying, hey, 369, he's in the conversation for best top laner in the league. With a performance like this against a hard counter, it's unarguable.
And especially when you look towards, well, what do top esports need from 369? They want him in these fights. They want him to provide that big beefcake in the front line. The fact he's not falling behind and can still be relevant is amazing, especially with Rift Herald.
He's got his flash available and knows he needs to go for it, but Tian is there, gets the kickback. Dominus used as well as Crisp stuns up this Renekton, but the Q is there. 369 does a good amount of damage, but he still goes down, and that means FPX can move to the Herald.
And that was just so unfortunate by 369 with that timing of looking for the Honey Fruit with FPX coordinating for the Herald, but great play by FPX overall. Nice to see Tien have the confidence to go in for that kick, and now going to secure them an objective, and they can try to start snowballing the map.
And they don't lose anything for it either. They hadn't committed LWX and Crisp moving up, although Crisp is here. And it means that LWX is the one still free-firing in this bottom lane.
Carso's trying to make a play here. He's got Knight moving over as well, and Crisp forced to flash once again. Carso, I think, realizing that he doesn't want to go too deep for this one. I was amazed he was even trying to make a play in the first place, but they get a flash.
True shot barrage? Willis?
Oh my goodness, it's so close! A millimeter makes the difference between Jackie getting a kill and not right there. That is insane.
Yeah, and as we see back, this wave actually wasn't in a great place for Khan, but I guess you can't necessarily freeze out the Quinn regardless since you're a melee to a rage.
Yeah,
so
it kind of just ends up worse. It's like you're under the tower every time you try to auto. It's like, yeah, cool, there goes a little bit more of my health bar, a little bit more.
what I want to see is where FPX are going to use the Herald, because you actually have a strong argument for each of the lanes, right? You want to try and snowball this Quinn so he can start blowing out the Renekton. Kais is obviously going to be your main damage source of late game, but I actually think opening up the mid lane when you have the Rumble is probably the most valuable option. That's where I'd like to see TN look.
The only thing I'm worried about is that, like, our Knight has some great wave clear. Karst is super far ahead, and if you try and commit as just TN and Doomby to that play, there's always the potential for a turnaround. So trying to unlock Doomby with the Rift Herald could end up actually maybe going a bit awry.
It is worth mentioning that is exactly what FPX did in game number 1 of this series. They went straight towards the mid lane. But one thing that we have to bear in mind with the mid lane matchup now is Knight has been the benefactor of both of the kills Top Esports got so far this game. Totally, yes, takes a huge chunk from Jackie there, but he's going to be accelerated in this matchup, and it's no longer just this skill matchup we were talking about between the two players when there's a kill on the board.
Yep, the good thing for Doomby is we touched on the heal earlier, so he shouldn't feel too much pressure coming out from Knight just being able to destroy him in one combo with the combination of his W and his heal. We're actually seeing Tien go towards top, which probably means he's going to drop the Herald for Khan.
There's no teleport available for Knight either, so he's not going to be able to help out. But 369 does a good job here reading that play. Look, Doomby's missing. Chances are they're going towards this top side with how far bot lane is pushed in, so I'm just going to get the hell out of here.
Really nicely done here by 369, but also by FPX, who are going to find themselves the first tower of the game here. And like the differences between these teams are so minuscule, and 369 reading them perfectly.
It will be traded for the Dragon on this bottom side, though, and the potential here with 3 members committed to the top, that maybe Top Esports can try and make a play bot side. But I like what Khan has done here is move across to help control this mid lane. So, oh, hang on.
We've got Doomby tanking the tower right here. 369 is low, but Tian is going to maybe overcommit for this one. Equalizer finishes it, but it's 1-for-1, all things considered. And now Knight arriving on the scene. Doomby just about gets away from the stun. He took damage, though, I'm pretty sure, from Karsa, or from 369, sorry. It's going to be 2 kills for the Renekton.
And overall, I think that's just a big mistake by Doomby mismanaging his heat bar, because had he not overheated, that would have been an easy equalizer drop, and then Tien and Doomby can get out scot-free.
And now FPX can't save this bottom side either, because Knight does have his teleport up in just a few moments, and there's a potential play here, but it looks like Karsa actually going to back away. They're going to be happy instead with just a couple of these turret plates, so big win here and a big swing for Top Esports.
It goes back to what we were saying as well. FPX are so often their own worst enemy. This was an FPX play that set 369 up for massive success.
Yeah, now 369 potentially going to be able to have the big team fight emphasis that he did last game, just being able to get on top of the backline, open up with the Dominus, and then LWX and Doomby going to have nowhere to go. Impact. There was the word I was looking for. Team fight impact.
That is a word.
It is.
And Impact does play Renekton, so makes a lot of sense.
He does play League of Legends over in the NALCS. Sadly.
Rest in peace.
Maybe not sad for his bank account, but for World's hopes.
Yeah, it's suboptimal in terms of roster positions. Anyway, let's move away from Impact. He's not in this game.
And to be fair, Top Esports are the team that's going to win Worlds anyway, so it doesn't really matter when we look at the greater scheme and the grand scheme of the global League of Legends scene, because Top are looking pretty good, at least this game. And again, we're seeing 369 keeping up. Yes, he's fallen behind a little bit when it comes to CS off of the 2 plays that has gone his way, but he is still very relevant in this game, especially with the 2 kills that have gone his way. So now if Top Esports are able to draw FPX into these fights, when we've got, say, your next Rift Tower coming up, or when these Dragons start to go their way, they can continue to put pressure through these team fights.
And look at the pressure they're putting on the bottom lane right now as Jackie is able to step on forward. Yuyanja clearing that vision. FPX answer in the top side of the map. They will be able to grab themselves a tier 2 tower right here. And I don't think Jackie will actually be able to finish the tower in the bottom lane.
Oh, and seeing Knight TP in, looked like TS were going to look for a pick, but one thing I like is that FPX are actually setting up for their side lane Quinn this time, and now we're going to potentially be able to see Khan bully out in this matchup because he does have the Blade of the Rune King compared to no completed Black Cleaver coming out from 369.
One nice thing, though, for top esports is JackeyLove gets that tower just before turret plates fall, which means he's going to get a whole heap of gold straight into his pocket. So at least this cloud has silver linings for top esports.
The thing is as well, if you look towards that bottom side, the fact that top esports still have that bottom lane turret means that Khan's got a lot of structures on that bottom side to still try and work through. And when we start to get towards Baron and stuff, the fact that there's still these 3 turrets in the bottom lane is going to make it at least a little bit easier for top esports to make plays.
And it's crazy to me, Dagda, that just like last game, sure, it might feel like FPX are in control of the map. TS are still up in gold, just like game 1 all over again.
And did you see the turret plate gold right there? 720 went straight towards JackeyLove. We always talk about the Ezreal 2-item spike. He's already hit that point, and now, with Herald spawning, everybody from top moves towards that objective.
And that's what they want to do. They want to find these fights. And especially when, I mean, if you remember the last time that we saw this Renekton Quinn matchup was LGD versus IG, whereas, excuse me, the Shy versus Longxing. And this matchup went completely differently. Now 369 around this objective with the teleport up as well can have a far greater impact. But FPX are looking to knock down those structures that we talked about in response to this Rift Tower play.
It's also so interesting that we've just seen both teams continuously dodge each other, which I think made sense for TES before since they were trying to get JackeyLove in a place of prominence. But I'm really surprised that FPX don't want to contest, and instead now we're just kind of doing the reverse play of trying to get gold onto LWX. He is only sitting on 1.5 items, though.
Knight is just walking under the tower because Yuyanja has made his way onto this play. Doomby with 2 stacks, but they're going to back away. They're happy to just take a flash and a heal right there.
369's RTP also got cancelled.
Khan's doing a lot of damage right there onto Karsa, but JackeyLove jumps on forward. He's straight on towards Khan, trying to finish off the carry, but Tian moves on in, gets onto the Ezreal, has kick available, but JackeyLove jumps on out of this one. So it's going to be 1 kill for Doomby to start this one off. It's 369 getting into the fray and cuts down the Rumble straight towards the mid lane as top esports continue the play.
Chinese Rumble coming in there, sounding real loud. But still, they're looking to try and keep this pressure forward because they know the Dragon's up. They need to try and find members of FPX.
Just icing on the cake right there for Knight, grabbing a blue buff, and now straight on towards the Infernal Drake. And let's bear in mind, it's Infernals for the rest of the game, Lyric.
Yeah, so going to be a really good option for TS to just snowball this game out, but I kind of have a feeling we're not going to get there once again. I mean, now TS feel firmly in control of this game despite gold still being even. I feel like pretty much any time we're set up for these big 5v5s, TS are at those item breakpoints where they're really strong, and we saw sure Khan was dealing a lot of single target DPS. I'm going to ignore Khan because FPX might go for the same dive they went for game 1.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, especially against JackeyLove on an Ezreal. He's going to be completely safe. And he doesn't have any teammates nearby because right now they're chasing Khan around the map who's forced to flash over the wall.
Still could have another scrap here as FPX at least posturing, but the thing is, as Lyric was saying, with these longer lanes now starting to open up and there's the opportunity for top esports to just shove in these waves, prevent Khan from having too much of an impact because he's going to have to start his push from way back behind his outer structures. And as well, now with that flash burn, he has to be even more careful on how far forward he pushes.
Just look at the leads that the solo lanes have for the side of top esports. Massive CS lead in favor of Knight, and 369 may be down in CS in that matchup, but the fact he's even close is a miracle in that matchup, and then he's got 3 kills. So the CS deficit doesn't even matter.
He's the same as Doomby. Like, if you look, it's the same CS, it's the same score, and he still has a bounty. Like, he is looking really, really good right now, and I think that's why when I look towards Khan, he hasn't quite been able to put 369 behind in the manner he needed to. It's a little bit worrying as FPX.
And let's just go back to the draft conversation we had right at the start about how this Quinn theoretically didn't seem to fit the composition for FPX. And now that the pick itself isn't really working out in the way that they wanted, although they are going to get another tier 2, so I don't want to belittle it too much, it feels like this could be an issue for FPX.
Yeah, and this right now, this is actually an interesting kind of map setup that they can only do because Baron's not up, because both Khan and Doomby do not have TP. So the second that Baron is up, you cannot look for plays like this anymore, and you're just going to trade on both sides of the map.
Hang on, they're looking for an inhib right here. This is insane from FPX as they just brute force their way into the base of top esports. This is not a good trade for TES.
It's horrific as well because we talked about the way Top Esports were going to protect that bottom lane was through having 3 towers in the way of that inhibitor. Now you've got a free lane, a super long lane, and if Khan can get onto 369, he's able to chase him down so well.
The great thing is, counter to the point I just made about FPX's comp, it goes to answering your point that, hey, Knight and 369 both have TP once 369 does get it up. If Quinn does go to bot side, you can just commit 2 men from TS, pick off the Quinn, and FPX can't even force Baron because both your solo laners TP in, and you can win that fight as well.
That's see if they can try and bait that out, I think is the big question then. Because you can still try and look for at least some picks on FPX's side. You've got Crisp who can try and set you up. Doomby's Equalizer as well can find these opportunities where maybe FPX can draw these big summoner spells out of Top Esports.
So I do want to revisit the scoreboard a little bit here as Top Esports siege away in the mid lane, but I don't think this should turn into too much of a fight. Although Doomby's nearby.
Khan on the side as well.
Could look for a bit of a wombo combo here, but Crisp getting chunked out should mean that FPX want to back away from this one. LWX takes a massive blast from the True Shot Barrage. Down goes the tower. So, Top Esports, nice little pickup there. We've got Jackie Love on the Ezreal, 2 items. We've got Knight on the Syndra with 2 full items as well. When you look at their counterparts on the other side of the board, yes, LWX has 2 items, but he's not finished stacking his Muramana just yet. DoomB still hasn't finished his 2nd item either. So when we look at the prime carries in these fights, right now, Top Esports can comfortably win out the 5v5.
Yeah, it feels like 5v5 is just so TS favored, unless DoomB hits some kind of miracle ultimate where, you know, he hits all 5 men, but even then, we actually do have pretty much every flash up on the side of TS, so they'll have a 1 get out of jail free card. So now you're hoping for DoomB to hit 2 miracle ultimates, then going to the next win condition for FPX. Actually, Khan will never be able to just push straight up to the inhibitor, because if he is showing, TS can just bait Baron.
So my question then, Lyric, is as we now move later in the game, as we move towards this next Infernal Drake, this would be soul point for Top Esports. Obviously, FPX cannot give up an Infernal Soul here, but if they can't win the 5v5, how do FPX play around this?
I feel like FPX are getting caught out.
They don't get to play around this. They've already lost the fight. Tian the next target as he tries to jump away. DoomB desperate to finish a player off, but he's Rumble on his own. He doesn't have the damage for that one. Tian slowed as Jackie Love tried to finish things up. In the meantime, Knight is just off on his own, solo killing people. Tian is going to be chased down as Jackie Love gets yet another kill. This series is already over.
Knight didn't even use Unleashed Power. He just killed LWX. I was like, do you know what? Just in case Khan shows up, I still got more in the back pocket.
I just want to know, what is this team? How does this team create these small tempo windows, abuse enemy mistakes, do everything so well?
Hang on, Khan. Luckily for him, is insanely fast, so he's going to get away with this one, but they're not interested in the bird. They want the Baron.
Why did I gamble for my predictions?
Oh my goodness. Top Esports, they got 72% from the Colonel, and they are feeling indomitable, Dagda.
And this is what we want to see from the best team in the LPL. We look at who they've gone up against. JDG, 2-0 slam. You look at them against EDG, 2-0 slam. You look at them coming into today, and once again, we're looking down the barrel of a 2-0 slam.
You know, the thing that blows my mind is the fact that TS did, like, literally the same first rotation of draft, and FPX ended up drafting a comp much worse against it than they had in game 1.
On the same side of the draft as well.
Exactly. They were both same blue-red, and FPX ended up with something that looks much harder to execute as compared to game 1.
And just compare the expectation for Top Esports coming into this year with Photic on the roster back at the start of spring to where Top Esports are now with Jackie Love here, with this team firing on all cylinders. This isn't just a favorite for the LPL. This is a dominant favorite, and I can't think of a team that can face them right now.
Globally. I mean, I can't think of anyone globally. I mean, I'm looking over at LEC, and I'm seeing G2 and Fnatic are having struggles. I look towards NA, and I can't see anyone there either. Even in the LCK, we just took them on in MSC. Top Esports are set to take on the world right now.
Other than Rogue Warriors, guys, no one is taking this team down. But actually, Rogue Warriors already played against them.
Actually, V5, that's their next game. Victory
That's on
5.
Monday.
That's true.
Yeah.
V5, the chosen ones. We'll see if they can take on Top Esports. It's not over just yet. Let's not count our chickens here, because Top Esports, yes, they did just take a mid lane inhibitor. Yes, they've got a Baron at 23 minutes. Yes, they've got a 5,000 gold lead. My analysts are looking at me like I'm a crazy person, but you know what? This is FunPlus Phoenix. If there's any team that could come back in a crazy game like this, it's them.
If it helps, I just look at you all the time like you're crazy.
That's
so,
true.
I mean, yeah.
I feel like I'm counting my chickens, guys. I mean, definitely chickens. Definitely no Phoenixes to be seen on this Rift.
But there is Valor,
That's true.
so there's at least an Eagle to work with here.
Eagle, okay. There we go. See, League of Legends champions, what animals they are, you know, I'm not quite sure.
I don't know if he did. You got a lot of hate for your Cougar thing, didn't you? But here we go. Nice.
Yeah, that was a disaster. Knight's in trouble here. Equalizer, kick from Tian, but somehow he survives. Guardian comes through from Yuyanja. And now Tian maybe has jumped too far for this one because Jackulov is trying to find a way back into the plate as well. Knight dodging everything. Knock up onto Tian. See you later, Lee Sin. And Jackulov, he's going to get stunned up. I don't think DoinB has the damage, but maybe Khan does as he comes sideways into the play, but Khan takes so much. True shot barrage across the team. Everybody's low. Knight has to do a lot of work, and Crisp is the one to go down. Carson now arriving a little late to the play, but there's only 2 people left for FPX. They may have found the fight. What? Deleted! And now there's one more to go down. A swing around from Khan as 369 gets the kill.
And there's minions in the base. The super minions are already on the Nexus turrets. I don't think they'd be able to finish this game off, but you're probably going to lose a Nexus turret for that.
You know, if they had TPs, they could have just ended right here.
Yep. I mean, it feels like we're just at a matter of time before this game ends in the favor of TS. But here, we see them looking for this 2v2. Yuyanja is here, Tien here as well. Kind of not the greatest equalizer coming out from DoinB. Tien also kicking Knight away. Knight, the fact that he survived this whole fight from this starting interaction is amazing.
The fact that he dodges absolutely everything for the next couple of minutes.
Especially since Jackulov does Jackulov and goes super aggressive and actually goes down. This could have been the fight for FPX, except once again Knight in the perfect position to make sure he can deal the damage that is necessary. Picks off the Leona, and then as Khan goes aggressive here, knows the distance here with the flash engage, predicts the Q, and it's just disgusting.
That was so terrifying to watch. He actually just hitting everything, picking them off. So they don't even know how they're dying. They're just like, where is this coming from?
The crazy, shout out to Yuyanja in that fight as well. He saves Knight right at the start. He almost saves Jackulov, keeping him alive for so long so that the ult could come on through. Yuyanja is the unsung hero of that skirmish. But you know what? Top Esports with a mid lane inhibitor already, they can just barrel down the bottom lane now.
So, Lyric, how many eggs are you up to, or chickens are you up to over there? Because I'm looking about 16, which matches the Magi stack that Knight has right now.
I was more up to 100, which, you know, is more like a spellbinder.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Down in the bottom lane now as the siege continues. Equalizer used just to try to clear the wave, but I don't think Top Esports care about the minion wave right now. Or, hang on. Hang on. LWX went in. Don't cut away from that. He somehow survived.
I'm actually just really surprised no one on TS is answering Khan because they both have TP up. They're probably just going to die before it ends.
They're just going to try and end the game. I don't know how LWX Killer Instinct into everyone from top and got out with his life without using a summoner, but you know what? Who cares? They're into the fight once again. Tian the target, but he's got to stop what Yuyanja flashes away to safety, but Tian will go down. Now straight towards Crisp, who flashes out with his own life, and Khan on the flank. Maybe this is the fight. It's DoinB burning people down on the front line, flashes himself to safety, and Jackulov still surviving. Crisp now has to tank up a lot of damage. LWX not really able to do enough just yet, and Knight comes up big once more. Can't. Slowed, doesn't have flash. One more Q, but they can't quite find the target. And Top Esports have to back away.
They can go out and pick up that Inferno Dragon on the way out, though, putting themselves on Infernal Souls. So they do get a Nexus turret, they do get some of these inhibitors, but not quite able to finish out the game.
I'm so interested to see how much of an annoyance Khan is going to be right here. We do see him flying in on the mini-map. 369 is low.
They could find some picks here. This is how FPX could find their way back into the game. Castle going to get a pillar here. Jackulov's here, but LWX flies across the screen and finds himself a kill. Knight has insane damage. Jackulov finishes the kill, but he jumps straight on towards the rest of the equalizer. Jackulov goes down, and the Drake can't be taken.
Well, the Drake can be taken for FPX, and that was so nice to see both from LWX and DoinB to finish it off, but Knight once again showing his mechanical prowess.
Hang on, it's not over just yet. 369's here, so is Knight. Khan has to go huge. Tian jumps over towards DoinB. Equalizer's on cooldown, and Knight is not done just yet. Jumping forwards, trying to get in. They're just stopping everyone because the supers are in the base right now. but they can't stop the retreat right here. One more tower might just fall to the supers.
Maybe.
No, it survives. I don't know how much HP. 83 HP that tower survived.
How did we end up in such a fiesta, guys?
It's FPX versus top esports.
You saw
what
game-
did you expect?
Game 1, Munchables. You saw game 1.
Look,
Yeah, but-
I'm glad we're here. That's all I'm saying. This is what I needed to finish off my night with. Because my word, top esports are putting on a show against FPX. They can turn towards this barn whenever they want, and with super minions on the bottom side, and you've got no teleport on FPX, it just feels so easy to pull off.
Just look at the scoreboard right now. Look at Knight, 6-0 and 5. He's got 10 CS per minute in this utterly chaotic game. Like, Knight is just unbelievable as a mid laner.
It's just crazy to me that we see time and time again that any of these members can step up and like solo carry a game, right? We've literally seen it from pretty much everyone on this team. 369 great last game. Knight so amazing mechanically this game. And FPX though, gonna contest this one.
Well, they're gonna need to.
Oh my god, okay.
Whoa.
That is not a contest. That is a one-shot right there. Now top esports, they just got to dot the I's and cross the T's. Equalizer across the whole team, though. Good kick from Tian. And they get on tonight. He's shut down. LWX going massive in the fight. But there's the stun coming on through. Stopwatch keeps him alive for now, but Jackula finishes it off. Double kill for him as Doin B falls. It was a great start to the fight. They finished off Knight. They ruined his perfect game, but you know what? This is going to be top esports.
And once again, Knight starting it off with that pick onto Quinn, leading to a beautiful team fight by TS to close out this game.
He ruined the stacks though. There's no more Magi stacks. That was the important part.
The Magi stacks are gone, but the Phoenix has been plucked here. Top esports repeat history from the MSC finals and take themselves a 2-0 over FPX.
The thing that blows my mind is that these guys look so dominant against the top teams, and that's how you know that, like, even when they have bad games or drop to, like, OMG, it's like, well, you know, these guys aren't giving 200% every series, but, man, when they do